And we're back, folks, right here on WrestleRant. I'm Graham GSM Matthews, and every single Tuesday here on the show, I review all the pay-per-views that I watch on the WWE Network. For the past couple of months, pretty much since the onset of 2017, I have been reviewing every installment in the In Your House pay-per-view series, and today we're talking In Your House 8, Beware of Dog, from May 2000, I almost said 2016, May of 1996. The controversial, most memorable thing about this show, and I'd heard so much about it, had never seen it prior to just yesterday when I watched it, earlier today rather, either way. The thing about this show was that it was the first and only pay-per-view, I believe, in WWE history to be taped at two different times. So what happened was on Sunday, May 26th of 96, they filmed In Your House, Beware of Dog, 8, whatever, In Your House 8, Beware of Dog, and the lights went out. They had a power outage that caused them to film pretty much most of the show in the dark. And I don't know if they sold it that way originally with that whole show. I don't know what happened because I was curious as to whether they would air those matches on the network. What they ended up doing was the matches that did not make the air that night, they aired them 2 days later on Tuesday, in addition to the replays of the matches that did make the air. The Mark Mero and Hunter Hearst Helmsley match, in addition to the WWE title match between Shawn Michaels and British Bulldog. So then on Tuesday, they filmed the strap match, the main event, the IC title match, Vader and Yokozuna, etc., etc. So that's what made this show pretty notable. I didn't know how it would be handled, but that's basically what they did. They aired, like I said, Mero and Triple H, and then the Michaels and British Bulldog match. So I guess they did the matches, a lot of the matches twice. I don't know, like I'm looking at it here on Wikipedia, like Bob Holly and Isaac Yankem, Ahmed Johnson and Jerry Lawler, Ultimate Warrior and Owen Hart. I guess those matches never made the air. I mean, I don't know if they're out there somewhere. That's just the way the network is, structures it. When you watch it on the network, when they air the second half of the show, they call it In Your House 8 or In Your House Beware of Dog, whatever, 2. So it's technically 2 parts, but it's wrapped up in one giant pay-per-view on the network, which is interesting. So anyway, let's get right into it. The opening match, Mark Mero against Hunter Hearst Helmsley. Pretty good match coming out of WrestleMania 12, where Triple H had hit on Sable, who was Mark Mero's. Or no, Sable had been with Triple H as like his valet or something, one of his women that accompanied him to the ring, or he encountered her backstage and he treated her like shit, whatever. So Mark Mero came to her aid, leading to the match on this show. And Hunter Hearst Helmsley had been pretty much on a roll. A lot of the feuds he had in 95 were not all that good against fucking Rikishi, Henry O. Godwin. But this was a really good match, probably Triple H's best match to date in WWE. And I mean, he looked a lot better in defeat here than he obviously did at WrestleMania 12 when he lost to the Ultimate Warrior in under like a minute or two, I think it was. So a much better match. The psychology was solid, was spot on, so good stuff there. Mark Mero in the end scoring the victory off a distraction from Sable inadvertently because Triple H was way too consumed with throwing it in her face at ringside that he was beating up her boyfriend. And in the end, Mark Mero scores the victory. So again, a good opening match. So then again, like I said, the cut here is really weird. I guess they filmed half the show, and then they did Michaels and Bulldog, which happened night 1. That's when they air it from. So we get the WWE title match early on this installment, this version of the show, so it's kind of weird. But like I said, Shawn Michaels against the British Bulldog. Good match. I mean, they would have a way better match, in my opinion, at the King of the Ring pay-per-view the following month, which I talked about last year in my King of the Ring 96 review. Cheap plug, check that out from last year here on WrestleRant. But yeah, for what this was the predecessor to this match, to that match, they would have other matches, years earlier for like the European Championship and shit. But I thought this was it was a good match. It was a pretty good match. But the thing was that, and it's so weird too, you go from 95, a year that was just full of absolutely awful matches for the WWE title. Diesel and Psycho Sid, Diesel and fucking Mabel, all these other shitty ass matches. And then you go to a year that was filled with amazing matches in the main event from Shawn Michaels and Mankind, Shawn Michaels and Diesel, Shawn Michaels and British Bulldog at King of the Ring, Shawn Michaels and Vader at SummerSlam, and the list goes on. And even Shawn Michaels and fucking Psycho Sid at Survivor Series of this year, of 96. So this was a good match. Again, one of the weaker title defenses of Michaels in 96, but still a pretty good match. Nevertheless, ended in a draw after a back suplex from Michaels. Both their shoulders of Michaels and Bulldog were counted down to the mat, ending in a draw, leading to the rematch of the King of the Ring pay-per-view the following month. So we go from there to a great and probably the best strap match I have ever seen in this company's history. A Caribbean strap match between Steve Austin, later known obviously as Stone Cold Steve Austin, against Savio Vega. The whole stipulation here, I believe, was that if Savio Vega won, Ted DiBiase, Steve Austin's manager, would be barred from WWE forever. And I think obviously Steve Austin lost here, and I think from there, Ted DiBiase went on to join WCW, the NWO, and that whole fucking, that whole, atrocity that became after a while. I'm actually wearing my NWO shirt as I review this. But anyway, this was a great match. I got 20 minutes of in-ring time, of television time, and you would think like, oh my god, a 20-minute strap match, that must fucking blow. It really didn't, and it really didn't drag at all from what it felt like for me watching it. The suspense was there. I thought the brutality, the intensity was present in this match. Both guys really taking each other to the limit. And this was honestly the feud that put Steve Austin on the map. Of course, he would go on to win King of the Ring the following month, which obviously made a name for himself as Austin 316, that whole thing. But as his first real feud in WWE, I thought this was great. And really an awesome outing from both guys, and Savio Vega does not get the credit he deserves for being as good as he was back in those mid-90 years of WWE. So again, great match. Savio Vega wins. Ted DiBiase goes bye-bye from WWE for at least many, many years. After that, Vader versus Yokozuna, a match that had been building for a while. They start building it up at many months earlier. I don't think at the previous In Your House show. Like, well before WrestleMania. I'm talking like February, I think. Because they had an In Your House in April, which I talked about 2 weeks ago before Fastlane. My Fastlane 2016 review, cheap plug, check it out. So they set this up a while in advance. Not that it was this huge, technically, it might have been a literal huge match, but it wasn't going to be like an absolute classic or anything. It was exactly what you would expect it to be. It's Vader versus fucking Yokozuna. They made the most of it. It was not a good match at all. They didn't go for, having a 5-star classic, but for a typical big man match, for a 9-minute match, maybe a couple more minutes longer than it needed to be, I thought it was fine. They made it entertaining. Vader focused on the leg of Yokozuna that had been previously injured in storyline. That's what put Yokozuna on the shelf to begin with many months earlier. So I liked how they kind of focused in on that storytelling aspect of the match before hitting the Vader bomb, and it was over, building up momentum for Vader heading into his WWE title program with Shawn Michaels that summer. So simple, short, and effective. I like it. We get to the main event, a casket match for the Intercontinental Championship. To my memory before, because I remember saying like around No Mercy of last year, because I thought Ziggler and Miz would main event, it obviously did not, but I was thinking to myself, when was it, have we ever had a pay-per-view main evented by the Intercontinental Championship? And obviously I forgot about SummerSlam 92 with Bret Hart and Bulldog, one of the most memorable and greatest matches, main events in WWE history. But then there was this match that I completely forgot. I didn't even know it main evented the show. I remember it happened. I just forgot that it was the main event. This was fresh off of the Warrior Goldust program. I don't think Warrior was yet gone. Because he was supposed to team with Michaels and Ahmed Johnson the following month at In Your House. Not Ahmed Johnson. First of all, I apologize because I said Ahmed Johnson in my review for the past couple of reviews, and Jason corrected me. It's not Ahmed, it's Ahmed. So I apologize for that, for sounding like a stupid idiot like Chris Jericho would say. But anyway, so yeah, I don't know if Warrior was yet gone from the company. So I don't know if this was a bait and switch and they put Taker in that position instead. I don't think so. I think this was designed from the get-go. It was an alright match. Mankind got involved to further that feud, so I get it. I don't know. Just Goldust and Taker did not have that great of chemistry, really not that good of a main event. It was a casket match. Really, what do you expect, It was weird because I just finished watching the next In Your House 9, from 2 months later in July of 96, and they did Taker and Goldust again in a standard singles match. So they went from a casket match on this show to a standard singles match in July, which was kind of weird. So again, not a great match, but this show was one of, if not the best In Your House all-around event to date. Up to this point anyway. The main event was whatever, but Vader and Yokozuna served the purpose, short, sweet, and to the point. Vega and Austin was fucking awesome, well exceeded my expectations. The WWE title match, pretty good, and Mark Mero and Hunter Hearst Helmsley, pretty good as well. So, you're obviously going to tell that it was filmed 2 different nights. I think, obviously, the arena is different. The commentary team is different. Hell, they go so far as to say it's In Your House 8 Beware of Dog 2. So they pretty much outright tell you that this is part 2 of a show that was supposed to happen, that was supposed to air 2 days earlier before we fucked up and the power went out. Actually, they didn't fuck up. They had a big lightning storm or thunderstorm or whatever, some sort of tropical storm, tropical storm rather, not topical. But that cut out the power, so that's why they had to reschedule. But they made the most of it. I don't know what the original card would have looked like. Like I said, I'm looking at it right now. Jake Roberts and Justin Bradshaw. I know they did pretty much all these matches once before, so I don't know if they were better that first time. I have no idea. But I would love to know, I would love to see those literal dark matches. I don't know if they're out there somewhere. They're certainly not on the network from what I understand, so... Anyway, though, overall, for what this version of the In Your House 8 Beware of Dog pay-per-view is, I thought this was really, really good. Again, I'd have to go back and look back at the other cards from the previous In Your House shows. It probably beats any other In Your House from 95, because those fucking sucked. Those were terrible. Maybe, I don't know if it's as good as 7. I've been watching a lot of these pay-per-views, so I don't really know. I don't remember off the top of my head. But still, overall, for what it was, as a standalone show, very good. Well recommended to check it out on the WWE Network. So, of course, next week here on the show on WrestleRant, I will be breaking down In Your House 9, International Incident from July of 1996, as seen on the WWE Network. But in the meantime and in between time, you guys can find me on the Twitter machine at WrestleRant. Follow me there. Find me on Facebook at facebook.com/Graham.gsm.Matthews. And right here on the channel, content goes up daily from Monday, WWE Network and Chill, Tuesday, WrestleRant, Wednesday, you got #AskGSM. Thursday, WrestleRant Radio excerpts. Friday, you got the random video blog. Saturday, Injection of Inspiration. And Sunday, interviews. Full episodes of WWEC Radio, WrestleRant Radio, SmackDown vs. Raw 2007 gameplay. Just a lot of stuff to check out. Other miscellaneous videos, pay-per-view rundowns, and stuff like that going up pretty much, not even pretty much, every single fucking day of the week right here on the channel. So what are you waiting for? Subscribe now. Like this video, leave a comment, share it. All that stuff is amazingly appreciated. So that being said, guys, enjoy the rest of your week. I'm Graham GSM Matthews, and I'll catch you guys down the road.